Maine's 2nd Congressional District race is heating up on both sides. Democratic hopeful Emily Kane going on the attack against her opponent Troy Jackson. And on the Republican side, Senator Mike Thibodeau thinking he might throw his hat in the ring. As always, when we need the latest on all things politics, we turn to our analysts Phil Harriman and Ethan Strimling. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us today.
Good to be here.
All right, now let's just get right into it. It seems Emily Kane is not holding anything back when it comes to pointing the flaws out of her opponent Troy Jackson, focusing on his past voting records, claiming he voted against marriage equality, and a frequent opponent of women's rights. Now, Ethan, from your point of view, is this a smart tactic that she's taking?
Well, I don't know whether you say it's smart or not. I'm not sure it's a sign of desperation either or anything like that. Look, what happens in a Democratic primary is two people really start fighting for the soul of the party. You'd see that on the Republican side as well. People are going to be making decisions on the street about who do I think reflects my values most closely. That's going to be number one. And number two is going to be who do I really like more. So I think what Emily's doing is just trying to fight for that piece of the party. Troy Jackson, I'm sure, is going to come back very strong and fight for the same thing.
You know, it seems to me, Samantha, that the efforts that Emily has put forward here is to create a contrast between her and Senator Jackson, and she's done it by putting him on the defensive to explain away, if you will, or neutralize her tactic. The question's going to be, does he come back and stand and fight for those principles that he's voted on, or is he going to try to come back and put Emily on the defensive? Either way, you can see, even at this early stage, that this race is going to be hard fought right through June.
And that was going to be my next question. You know, obviously, it's that waiting game of will we see a rebuttal from Jackson anytime soon? Do you guys have any opinion? I guess, Phil, any opinion?
Yeah, I would say this, Samantha, that there's no question that he can't let this go unchallenged. He either has to own it and explain why he's voted this way, or he's going to have to put a message out there that Emily has to respond to. To let this linger in the airwaves without a response is not smart on Troy's part.
Yeah, Phil's got that exactly right. He's got to respond. I'm sure he will. Ultimately, he may respond in terms of defending those votes, or he may, put his own votes on the table that are different from Emily. Each of them, she's been very strong with women's rights groups. He's been very strong with labor. I think each one of them has those pieces to bring to the table. But yeah, he should respond. If he doesn't, it's a mistake.
Well, it's the waiting game now. Well, on to the Republican primary side. State Senator Mike Thibodeau could be thinking about entering the race. Now, at this point in time, Phil, does it seem a little late in the game, especially going against two well-known opponents?
You know, Samantha, I think that's exactly right. Mike may have been contemplating this. Meanwhile, Politcal and Ray have been traversing over the 2nd Congressional District. They're building up networks. They're raising money. I think it's going to be very difficult for Senator Thibodeau at this point to step into the race and have any momentum to overpass either Ray or Politcal.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Now, Thibodeau has said he's going to put a whole lot of his own money. I've heard rumors $500,000 of his own money that he might put in. That can make up for a lot of lost name recognition. But I think what this reflects maybe more is Republicans feeling like, well, maybe we can't win back control of the Senate. He's the minority leader in the Senate. If he even thought he had an opportunity to become president of the Senate, I don't think he'd even be thinking about this. So this is actually sending a signal to the troops that maybe all is lost in the legislature, so he's bailing. That's not a good message to send. We'll see what it really means in the end.
Well, it's definitely going to be interesting for both parties. And gentlemen, I just want to thank you for, once again helping us navigate through the world of politics, and we appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Good to be here.